The nights turned colder, the house quieter, and then she appeared. The room would go icy and the air would grow thick, and told her the same story. In the same whispering voice, he killed me. Just broken now.
This is HaHaHaunted.
Ready?
What are you taking?
Take a hit.
Oh! Where'd you get that?
Don't worry about it. Feel awake now? Whoa! All right.
Welcome back
Welcome back.
to another episode of HaHaHaunted.
Ha ha ha.
I'm your host, JP,
And I'm Ryan.
the other host.
We did just do a line of cocaine.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Smelling salts.
I didn't even know those were still a thing.
Yeah. It's just like it's in a bottle.
It's just in a bottle.
It's just like bam.
No, stop.
Oh my God. Need something to wake me up after a long work day.
Long work day. Speaking of work day, man, I got a big old headache that I can't get rid of.
Really?
Yeah. I think
That
it's
didn't help?
No. I think it's because I didn't eat. I forgot to. Even though you were like, hey, you eat? And I was like, I ate earlier, but I did.
Amphetamines will do that.
No.
Yeah, you do amphetamines.
We landed at like 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock, whatever. And I'm on a diet, so I'm not trying to eat.
No, you're
So
not. That's bull. That's
I left the airport
That's bull.
and was like, damn, I should just stop at Whataburger because I'm so hungry. And sadly ate that at 2 o'clock in the morning.
old cheeseburger Randy.
That's the last time I ate.
Back at it.
I'm not sure. I did have a snack this morning.
Amazing.
It's pretty good, though. It's super low in calories.
What is it?
It's like 2 calories. And
What is it?
Has like 50 grams of protein.
What are you talking about?
It's real small, kind of shaped like a pill, filled with a bunch of Adderall.
Oh,
It's real tiny.
that's no protein in there.
You take it and delicious. Got my calories for the day. It's prescribed, so it's fine.
Okay, well, if you missed it, we had our live stream for 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We had a winner. If you tuned in, those of you that didn't, shame on you. We will do more in the future. I think our next goal is going to be 10,000.
Yeah, stay tuned. I think there was a little confusion. We ended up we have too many platforms, and I don't know if it's on my end or who else, but
There's two of us, okay? It's hard.
maybe it was a little confusing of how
I'll laugh.
to submit it, but we ended up having to take submissions from every platform to be able to enter it in.
It'll be more organized at 10,000 subscribers. I can promise you that. But we did have a winner. We had a lot of submissions. Turned out to be a good time. And thanks to everyone that subscribed and got us to the goal. Now you can share our channel and the show to more people so we can get 10,000 and win even cooler prizes.
10,000, dude, that'd be nuts.
10,000. I will say we are kind of in the market for an editor. If you know somebody, email us. Email us your stories and or resume and portfolio to help us edit these shows. real.hahahaunted@gmail.com.
Oh, damn, I was going to say it.
What?
I was going to say that part.
Say it.
It's all right.
Sorry. Okay. Well, kick it off. What do we got today?
Well, if I pass out, you know why, but unlike our story here,
I'm assuming that was a segue or something.
This is the worst.
Hold on.
All right, anyway, today we have a story that is apparently the one and only known case in America to ever use a ghost testimony inside the courtroom.
It's already sketchy.
Along with three more Fran submissions.
3 more Fran submissions?
Fran
Fans?
Fran
Call them
fans.
Frans. Call them Frans.
Frans.
Fran fans?
Fran.
If you're a fan, you're a friend. You're a Fran. All right?
We got some Fran submissions.
Some Fran submissions. I like it.
All right. We can title this one The Mother Who Brought Her Daughter's Killer to Justice with a Ghost.
That's the most creative title I've ever heard.
So creative. Well, some mothers will stop at nothing to protect their children, and some apparently won't stop even after their child is gone. This is the story of Mary Jane Heaster. Is it Heaster or Hester?
Looks like marijuana Heaster to me.
All right, we'll go Heaster. Mary Jane Heaster, a grieving mother in 1897 who did something no one in her town or any court of law had ever seen before. She used a ghost of her dead daughter as a witness in a murder investigation. This is the tale of
Rosa.
Zona Rosa. Of Zana.
Is it Zana?
I think it's Zana. Of Zana Heaster Shoe.
Zona.
Also known as the Greenbrier Ghost.
This sounds kind of familiar. Greenbrier Ghost. Where did this take place?
In Greenbrier.
North Carolina?
I forgot to write down.
I just threw out a state. I don't even know if that's right.
I forgot the state. Maybe it'll say in here.
Fantastic.
Sorry. All right, this is the tale of Zana Hester Shoe, also known as the Greenbrier Ghost. Zana was born Elva Zana Heaster in Greenbrier County, West Virginia.
That's kind of close.
She was known to be sweet, a bit quiet, and hopeful for a better life in 1896. I'm sorry.
It's a tough ask.
I'm going to butcher this name. I can't say it at all. She met a man who goes by the name of Trout, though.
That's like the most West Virginia Appalachia thing I've ever heard.
But his
Trout.
real name is
Erasmus.
Stribling.
Yeah.
Shoe. Last name Shoe.
Trout's a better name.
Yeah, so Trout for short.
Erasmus, I don't think it's super uncommon.
I've never heard it. He was a blacksmith who had recently moved into town. Shoe was a tall man, strong and well spoken, at least at first. The townsfolk didn't know much about him.
Raggy.
He said he wanted a fresh start and a new life. What he didn't mention was that he'd left behind, or what life he left behind. That he was actually married twice, and that his second wife had died under mysterious circumstances that people didn't really exactly call normal.
He killed her.
That's all I could find was it wasn't normal, and nobody knows what it was from.
I'll just say the quiet part out loud. He killed her.
He killed her, right? It's a little sus. So he moves to town, and within weeks in town, he meets Zana. And again, within weeks of meeting, Zana and Trout were married. It was fast. Within weeks of meeting each other, they get married. It was super fast, honestly too fast, according to her mother, Mary Jane. She disapproved of this in the beginning. She said she felt something was off about him even before the wedding.
So the daughter's Zona, I'm calling her Zona. I don't
Let's go
care.
with Zona.
So the daughter Zona was like not like a child, not child age.
Yeah, I believe she was 23 at this time.
Okay, because when you're first like explaining this, I was thinking, oh, it's a kid.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
It's not. It's a grown woman
Well,
who got
let's
married way
assume
too fast.
Early 20s, maybe late teens, whatever.
Old enough to get married.
Old enough to be married.
Which back then, who knows?
Maybe 12. They married.
I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Soon after they married, Zona changed. Friends said she became more reserved. She stopped visiting her mother as often. Some neighbors whispered that Trout was possessive, and he didn't let her go anywhere alone. But in those days, marriage was private, and women didn't really talk about abuse, even if it was happening behind closed doors. There was no police reports, no bruises anyone saw, just a subtle shift in personality, I guess. A shrinking woman and a husband who always looked over her shoulder.
What does that mean?
She basically cowered and didn't do anything
Oh.
because he was always looking over her shoulder, like
She
watching
was
her.
shrinking.
Shrinking, yeah,
Burn her at the stake.
She's a witch now too. So then came January 23rd, 1897. Trout was away from home. He sent a young boy to the house with a message for Zona. When the boy entered, he found her body at the base of the stairs. Stiff, cold, and clearly dead. Trout claimed he came home and found her like that. He dressed her himself in a high-necked Victorian gown with a scarf tied tightly around her neck, claiming it was her favorite.
Alrighty then.
He refused to let anyone near the body, including the doctor and undertaker. The physician, Dr. George Knapp.
George? Dr.
Another George. Maybe it was these Georges.
Priest George?
Yeah. Ticket sales weren't doing very good, so he became a doctor. Dr. George Knapp tried to examine her, but Trout's behavior was so aggressive and erratic that he couldn't do a proper assessment. So, mind you, this is
97.
1897. He couldn't do a proper assessment, so he signed the death certificate as everlasting faint. Which later was then revised to childbirth complications despite no evidence she was even pregnant. This is pushing the theory of excessive hemorrhage after a possible miscarriage, which soon,
With no evidence of.
it was all just a theory that she miscarried, she was hypovolemic, and just fainted at the top of the stairs of the house. Just perfectly.
Yeah.
Resulting in her death
Oh,
at the
yeah?
bottom.
Yeah? Is that right?
But then another little sus. Trout, he pushed to rush the funeral and hardly gave any time to prepare for it. And he made sure that the coffin was sealed real quickly. I guess in his mind, the case was closed. But Mary Jane Heaster, she wasn't buying any of it. She said that from the moment she saw her daughter's body, she knew something wasn't right. She said Zona's neck seemed too loose. Her face was not peaceful, but strained. Fell down the stairs, according to everybody else.
Fell on the stairs and had a miscarriage.
Yep. According to the official death certificate.
There was no liability back then.
No, there wasn't. And then Mary Jane stated that the dreams started. But Mary Jane insisted they weren't dreams, which was weird. Why would you say they're dreams? It started just after the funeral. The nights turned colder, the house quieter, and then she appeared. Mary Jane said it wasn't a dream, not a feeling, not a vision, but a presence. The room would go icy, her oil lamp would flicker, and the air would grow thick, like something was watching. Then Zona would appear, pale, almost glowing, in the long dress she had been buried in, her head tilted slightly, as if it couldn't quite sit straight on her head.
Because it was loose.
Because it was too loose. Her eyes were wide, not peaceful, not at rest, but pleading. Over 4 nights, the spirit hovered over the foot of her mother's bed and told her the same story, in the same whispering voice. He killed me. She spoke of Trout's rages, his jealousy. He wouldn't allow her to speak to others, how he snapped when she didn't make meat for supper.
She can't make meat.
She
You can only cook it.
Well, you know, she cooked it. She didn't cook it. She didn't cook it right.
Ain't cook it right.
And then...
Where's my meat, woman?
Well, what else were you doing?
Probably doing laundry outside.
Oh yeah, that sucks. She's like, I've been
Trying not to
scrubbing
die.
your shirt all day. And then don't worry about it, sorry. And then, in a tone Mary Jane would later recall with the tremble in her voice, Zona said, quote, "He grabbed me by the neck and broke it just below the first vertebrae.
That's very specific.
Mother, he crushed my windpipe." End quote. After that, she apparently faded, but never fully left. Mary Jane said that the room never felt quite empty again. Apparently, she was trying to describe what is known as the Atlas occipital joint, which is known as your C1, where your skull meets the spine.
Your soul meets body.
It's a highly specific medical point.
Soul meets body. Sorry.
And this is coming from a woman with no education, no medical training, using anatomical terminology as proof of her daughter's visits. Mary Jane took it straight to the county prosecutor, John Alfred Preston. At first, he brushed it off like a ghost story, really. But Mary Jane was persistent. And the more Preston looked into the case, the more Trout's behavior, his blocking of the body, the rushed funeral, the lack of actual medical exam, really started to bother him. He said, yeah, you know what? That doesn't sound right. Ooh.
It's not jiving. Vibes are off, as kids say. What else would the kids say?
Mother was pushing to have the body.
Just ignore me.
Oh, sorry. What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Doesn't matter now.
What'd you say? My bad, dude.
So what would the kids call that today?
I don't know.
You should know. Skibbity? Is that what they would say?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know. Well, that and a nickel get you a hot cup of jack squat.
Didn't you?
Skibbity.
Skibbity. That was
What does
skibbity.
Skibbity mean? Lack of evidence?
Yeah.
Oh.
Kids are really smart these days. Let me look it up. Hold on.
2 hours later.
Skibbity is a popular slang term among Gen Alpha that doesn't have a fixed literal meaning. It's often used as a filter word or a way to express something as cool, bad, dumb, or weird.
Yep. Skibbity.
Skibbity toilet? Skibbity toilet refers to a viral YouTube series featuring human-headed toilets. What? It's often used as a nonsensical filter word, a way to express confusion, or simply as a quirky term within Gen Alpha slang. We're on Gen Alpha now?
I can't keep up with this.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm trying to...
Well, Mom thought it was Skibbity as well. She definitely was the one pushing to have the body exhumed. What? Is it exhumed?
Like to have it, like to go get the body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, she was pushing to have it exhumed. Oh, yeah, and then so he authorized the exhumption of Zona's body. Dr. Knapp joined by 2 other doctors and performed a full autopsy now, this time without Trout anywhere near. What they found matched Mary Jane's story exactly. The neck was dislocated between the first and second cervical vertebrae. Ligaments were torn and ruptured, and the windpipe was crushed. Finger-shaped bruises were visible on either side of the throat.
A simple examination.
Yeah, he tied the
And that
scarf
calls
around.
for.
It was her favorite. And stop.
Woo! Just a little perk, a little pick me up, a little jolt.
That is disgusting.
Well, it's not meant to smell good.
Apparently not.
It's meant to be like a slap in the face.
Just to wake you up.
Wake you up.
It's a weird. It's
I'll wake up your dog.
a ziggity. You know what it's called? Skibbity.
Yeah, that'll give you a skibbity.
Skibbity. I don't like it.
It's going to give you a skibbity right there.
I know how to use these words now.
That's right. It's a nonsensical word. It's a filler word, so you can use it however you want.
Can make it
That
up.
gave me a skibbity right there.
I don't think that's right. Well,
That'll skibbity wake up your dog. That's salt.
salt.
Smelling salt.
Oh, your dog, my dog. Give me all skibbity.
Get y'all skibbity. Waking up your dog. All right.
So I guess she was manually strangled, and then her neck was snapped.
Also known as loose.
Loose. It was loose.
Loose off that
Mom was
Atlas
right. It looked pretty damn loose.
occipital joint. C1.
So she's like,
C1.
why is she in the coffin like
Yeah. Every time I put her head back, it just keeps
falls?
rolling.
Internal decapitation.
Ooh, rough.
So it wasn't an accident. It definitely was a murder. Trout Shoe was then arrested and brought to trial.
It's just trout shoe.
Trout Shoe, because we don't like his real name.
Erasmus.
Now here's where things get truly strange. At the trial, Mary Jane
Hold on.
Keister.
Hold on. This is where it gets strange.
Yeah, well, it's 1897.
Not Mary Jane learning anatomy from a ghost in her dreams.
Simple anatomy.
Simple anatomy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's not the strange part. Everyone's like,
Yeah, that sounds right.
Checks out.
That happens.
well, at the trial, Mary Jane Heister took to the stand, and under oath, she told the jury everything about the ghost, the 4 nights of visits, the message from her daughter's spirit. The defense tried to destroy her credibility,
Sure.
calling her superstitious and a grieving old woman. I wonder how old she was. But she held firm, and everyone in the courtroom could see.
She's probably 30.
It's pretty old. Turning gray.
All right.
Feel it. She wasn't ranting. She wasn't erratic. She was calm, precise, and her story lined up perfectly with the forensics. Uneducated, and she knew her.
She knew it.
her anatomy.
She learned it.
The judge told the jury to disregard her testimony as supernatural, but there was no question. It made an impression. In a time when women were expected to be silent, Mary Jane stood in the courtroom and made them listen. It took the jury just over an hour to convict Trout murder in the first degree. During the trial, more of Trout's history came to light. His first wife divorced him for extreme cruelty. His second wife died under mysterious circumstances, and he refused to talk about it. In jail, he reportedly told guards he planned to marry 7 women before he died.
Jeez.
That's weird. That's kind of an odd goal.
Yeah.
Very specific.
He only made it to 3. Nerd. Skibbity.
Zona was his third and his last.
It's very skibbity.
Trout was sentenced to life in prison at Moundsville Penitentiary. He died there just 3 years later in 1900, reportedly from an unknown illness. No official cause of death was ever released.
Miscarriage.
Miscarriage. Zona's grave lies in in Soul
Sal.
in Soul Chapel Cemetery, marked simply but nearby. Marked simply but nearby. There's a West Virginia historical sign that tells her story. It includes the part about the ghost. Actually, there's a picture. Insert here.
Damn, there's no picture.
This remains the only known case in U.S. history where a ghost testimony helped solve a murder. Well, so was Mary Jane actually visited by her daughter's spirit, or did a demented mother, fueled by grief?
Determined.
No, she's demented. I know it's determined, but it's demented. We gotta change it up, man. Fueled by grief and instinct, managed to piece together what no one else would. Did she embody her daughter's voice to force the truth into the open? Either way, her mission was clear. Her daughter didn't just deserve a proper burial, she deserved justice. And thanks to her mother, and maybe a ghost, she got it.
Yeah. I know what I just saw.
Yep. Or, just don't marry a man named after a fish. I feel like there was a lot of red flags. His name's a fish. Got married in 3 weeks.
And he's already divorced twice.
Twice. His
Well, he's divorced
dead.
once, widowed once. Old loose neck.
And he sends a little boy to his house with a message.
And was like, yeah, can you go send this message? Then he was like, oh no.
Oh no.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Oh, I didn't know you were gonna find her dead.
Oh my gosh, she's dead.
She woke up dead.
Can't believe she had a miscarriage. She wasn't even pregnant.
Damn.
That is crazy.
The doctor's like, yeah, likely.
You're right, Trout. She did have a miscarriage. That's crazy.
Seems about right. That's on her.
I mean, what do you think? Do you think she was visited by a ghost, or do you think?
I don't know. Maybe she was, or she thought she was, and she just had assumptions, and maybe she was like, if I come up with this crazy story, maybe it'll get her body exhumed.
And it did.
Sure did. And it worked, because got all the evidence and put him in jail. I wonder how he died.
A mysterious illness.
I know, but it's probably dumb. Probably got like pneumonia and septic.
I mean, isn't that how most people died back then?
Yeah.
You got an infection, and then when was penicillin discovered? Was that like in the early 20s, like in the early 1900s? 1918. Said that very convincingly. All right, well, let's move on to some
more Fran submissions.
Some Fran submissions. Thanks, Frans. This one comes from Heather M. from Waco, Texas.
Hey.
Subject line: my childhood home in Waco, Texas was never quiet.
This is actually...
That could mean a lot of things.
This is actually from... what's her name? It's probably Joanna Gaines. But she changed her name. She didn't want to be known. From Waco? They're from Waco, right?
Who?
Joanna Gaines.
You saying the name again doesn't tell us. My wife does.
So from HGTV.
I'm a man.
Never mind, man.
I was going to make a joke, but I'm going to refrain. All right. Anyways, says, hey, guys.
What's up?
Hey, Heather. Thanks for being a fan of the show and sending us your story. She writes, I've been meaning to send this in for a while now because your podcast brings up so much of what my family experienced growing up. And honestly, I've never told it all in one sitting until now. We lived in a house just outside Waco, Texas, in a neighborhood that was built in the early 70s. We moved in around 98 when I was 9 years old. Do the math. And we stayed until I left for college in 2007. My parents still live there, and to this day, they won't talk about what happened unless I force them to.
Ooh.
Wow. The activity started small. There we go. My eyes. The activity started small, as it always does. The first few months, we'd hear footsteps upstairs, even when everyone was downstairs. My mom swore it was the old wood floors settling. But the floors weren't wood. They were carpet.
They always have excuses.
They were carpet. Parents do always have excuses because they're scared. And I remember my brother and I both hearing what we thought was each other running back and forth above our rooms at night. Like, what?
That's what kids do.
Only to find out we'd both been in bed, wide awake, listening to it happen.
We thought it was us, but we weren't sleeping.
That almost got weird, Heather. The first really weird thing happened to me in early 99. Ooh, right before Y2K?
It was the computers.
It was computers. I was brushing my teeth upstairs in the hallway bathroom when I saw someone walk past the door. A tall man in a white shirt, black slacks, barefoot. I thought it was my dad until I turned the corner and saw him asleep on the couch downstairs, snoring. I didn't even scream. I just stood there frozen. Oh, that was the first time I saw him. We'd end up calling him the man in the hallway. Very original. He always appeared the same, tall, featureless, and just watching.
Featureless?
You said he was wearing shirts and slacks and barefoot.
Maybe
Like, was he faceless?
Facial features?
Was he faceless?
Oh, God.
A few years later, when I was maybe 12 or 13, my little brother started having night terrors. He'd wake up screaming that the dark man was in his closet. That's racist. And not just once. This was almost every night for months. Eventually, my mom had a priest come in to bless the house. And yeah, things stopped for a while. I'm going to put a disclaimer out there that we will make jokes during your stories.
Yeah, we did tell them that.
It's just because
Tear
it's...
it apart.
Just because we're cheeky.
It's
we're cheeky.
HaHaHaunted.
Yeah, we're cheeky like that, okay?
Cheeky. And we cheeked up.
We're cheeked up. And yeah, things stopped, ... for a while. But then it got louder. Doors would slam in the middle of the night. You'd hear someone pacing in the attic, dragging what sounded like chains or metal.
Oh.
My dad, the most skeptical, tough it out guy, finally admitted to me one morning that he'd been hearing a man whispering his name from the corner of the garage while he worked at night. He stopped using the garage after that. One night in 2005, during a thunderstorm, our smoke alarm started going off in the middle of the night. My dad ran around the house checking everything, but there was no smoke, no fire, just the sound of the alarm. It could have been a faulty alarm. It happens, all right?
Yeah, it's 2005.
It's 2005. Those things were shit. Every time he'd disable it, another would go off when he... Well, I mean...
They just
They're
started
supposed-
doing like the wire, all wire them together.
Yeah. Where they trigger
One
each
goes off
other.
and all of them go off.
Yeah.
As she said, ours weren't like that. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Every time he'd disable it, another would go off. When he finally pulled the batteries from all of them, we all heard someone knock 3 times on the front door. He opened it and no one was there. No wet footprints, no cars, nothing.
Why would it be wet?
Yeah.
Was it?
Wouldn't they just be footprints?
Was it raining?
Yeah, it was. She said it was raining.
Oh.
This was during a thunderstorm.
Okay.
So, apologies. The
Sorry.
last major experience I had was my senior year of high school. I was home alone on a Saturday morning, folding laundry in my room. I had my back to the hallway, and clear as day, I heard someone whisper, "Heather, come here. Heather, come here." I thought it was my mom. I walked into the hallway, empty. I called her cell. She was at the grocery store across town. That was when I realized this thing wasn't just residual, it knew us. Anyway, sorry this turned into a whole novel, but I thought you might like this one. It's not the scariest story in the world, but it's real, and it's something that stayed with me long after I moved out. Love the show. Stay spooky and stay out of Waco.
Stand a whack.
Laughing face, Heather. You left us on like a cliffhanger. Like,
Maybe. Will you send us a part 2?
yeah, like what? Like, did anything else happen? Like, was
we
it?
need more.
We need more. Heather from Waco. Anyways, thanks for submitting, Heather. That's kind of interesting because it's like everybody in your family experienced it.
Yeah, not just one person.
Not
but
just
other people
one.
Can
Yeah.
collaborate or
Yep.
confirm.
Mm-hmm. And your racist brother. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey, have them send it in. Let's see if they match your stories.
Yeah. Heather. All jokes, Heather. Thanks for submitting your story. We appreciate it. And shout out to Waco, Texas.
Thank you, Heather. All right. Our next Fran submission
Fran.
comes from Marcus L. Oh, God. From Traverse City, Michigan.
Cool. I don't even know where that is.
Neither do I. In Michigan, apparently. Our house in Michigan was haunted and mean. Was the subject line.
Okay. Is this like a poltergeist thing? Like,
I don't want to go home. My house is mean.
house is mean. We married? Like,
All it says is go home to my wife.
yeah. All it said, yeah, I'm just a married guy.
Just
That's
a
all it
married
said.
man.
All
Got
right.
it. Pretty haunted. I understand. Starts off, hey, Jacob and Ryan. So,
What's up?
big fan of your show. Seriously.
Seriously? Thanks.
I've never laughed so hard while simultaneously freaking out. I figured it's time to share my story, or rather, my family's story. I grew up in Traverse City, Michigan, in a 2-story brick house built
Brick.
in the 1940s.
Bricked up. Marcus is bricked up.
Flawless victory.
This is a family show.
No, it's not.
Marcus.
Sorry, we're bricked up too, Marcus.
Bricked up, cheeked up.
Bricked up and cheeked up for our friends.
Our friends. We're getting canceled.
It's all right.
He said, my family moved there in 1994 when I was 7.
Do the math, people.
37. And we stayed until 2010. It was a beautiful house, big yard, old oak trees, and a full basement. What does that mean?
Full of what?
A full, like a full.
Like, was it storage? Like, full of storage?
Hey, dude, I'm a realtor. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
And some,
Can you put that on the listing that it's a full basement?
like fully finished, or just it's just
Full of
It's not-
bodies.
I promise you, it's not a half basement.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
and it was something was rotten inside it, I guess.
so bodies.
Ooh, are you giving us a confession here?
God, you guys got to stop confessing on our show.
From the very first week we moved in, I remember not being able to sleep. I'd hear scratching under my bed, like nails on wood, and sometimes whispering that I could never quite make out. My parents told me it was just nerves from the move. Again, parents just making stuff
They
up.
are, dude. They ruin it. They really do.
Like, why does he always gotta tell me these things?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared now.
Like, I ain't going to your room checking that shit.
Like, you know, your parents are, and you're like, it's just nerves, and they close the door and they just break down crying.
But then my older sister started complaining that someone would tug her blankets off at night, not just slip down, pull, like 2 hard yanks.
Nice.
Sounds like, never mind. Jeff knows about the old blanket
Yeah, he does,
yank.
man.
The old blanket yank.
I
That sounds bad too.
1 or 2.
Yeah.
How many yanks was it?
Jeff, you good for 1 or 2 yanks? Oh, God.
One of the scariest moments happened when I was around 10 or 11. I was taking a bath upstairs when I saw something crawl across the bathroom floor. Not walk, crawl.
Okay, like, I'll let you finish and then I'll interject.
It was black, like a shadow.
You guys are just
And it's
racist, man.
It's not a racist, man. It's just color. How else do you describe it? It was dark, like a shadow, and it moved in these short, jerky bursts. I remember the sound it made, kind of like if you drag a bag across tile.
Dude, like, tell me you haven't killed somebody.
I know that's just very sus, dude. It disappeared behind the toilet. When I screamed, my dad burst in, and of course, there was nothing there. We later found out from a neighbor that the house had belonged to a man who had died by suicide in the basement in the late 60s. Supposedly, he'd lost his wife and had been never right after that. The basement always felt wrong. You'd walk down there and get a tight feeling in your chest, like something was watching you from the back corner, from the other half of the basement. And the lights would continuously burn out down there, no matter how new the bulb.
You probably got faulty wiring. You know what I mean?
Y'all need electricians.
Yeah. Did you guys get it? Like, Anybody do inspections?
Did you do an inspection? Well, one, it was a full basement, not a half basement.
Yeah, full of
Your MLS is not
too much
right.
too much electricity.
The electricians just stored it in the other full basement.
I was gonna say, like, when he was talking about in like hearing scratching noises like under his bed and then someone whispering, like, what are the chances, like, his, I don't know if he said he had siblings or not.
His sister.
His sister, like your sister just under there scratching and then like whispering and then just like hiding under there. I mean, it's possible.
Well, you should look it up on YouTube. Maybe like, guys, watch this.
We'll do a reenactment. We'll show you.
Got to yank the blankets off twice.
Double yank.
2 yanks.
2 yanks. Make them good.
Y'all think I can get this in 1 yank?
Yeah. Dang, 21 at 2008. You're old, man.
37, right? 38?
Yeah.
Maybe 38, yeah. All right, let's see. From ages 12 to 15, my sister and I would both wake up with scratches. Not deep, but like claw marks. 3 parallel lines, mostly on our backs or shoulders. We started keeping a journal of when it happened. It always coincided with nights where one of us had a nightmare about the basement. We stopped going down there altogether.
A full basement.
A full basement.
Full of terror. And bad light bulbs.
It's dark down there now. In 2008, when I was 21 and home from college for the summer, I was in the kitchen alone making a sandwich when the microwave turned on by itself. It wasn't even plugged in.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Why would your microwave not even plugged in?
Yeah, that's kind of weird, Marcus.
We had an outage.
It's 2008, dude. Like,
we had an outage the day before. Oh, we had sorry, dude.
We should have kept reading. Gosh.
We had an outage the day before and unplugged most of the appliances, but it lit up and started counting down. And then the timer beeped, and the words "Get out" were written in the condensation on the kitchen window above the sink. I lost it. My dad tried to rationalize it. Steam, pranks, electrical stuff. But that was the last straw. I moved out by fall and never spent the night there again.
Well, buddy, I can tell you confidently I would have either Gronk spiked that microwave or I would have yeeted it skibbity out that window.
Skibbity. What a word.
It's a word.
That definitely was skibbity. After they sold the house in 2010, we learned that every single buyer since has moved out within a year. And I recently saw it's back on the market again.
Marcus, we're going to have you send that address because we may want to go there.
Yeah, let me dive into
that. Is a pretty far jaunt, but that'd be cool.
Anyway, thought you guys might find this interesting. It wasn't a haunted doll or some cute Victorian ghost girl. It was dark,
easy, Marcus.
Angry, like it wanted us out. Keep doing what you do. Y'all are awesome. # stay spooky.
You stay spooky, Marcus, or maybe stay less spooky, because that was a good one. Old Marky Mark.
Yeah. Another one with scratches.
Gosh. Yeah, we are all over the U.S. I love it. From the Midwest to the South.
Well, thank you, Marcus, for your submission. We appreciate it.
We appreciate you watching the show.
I hope you have a full basement now.
Yep. Full of love.
And working light bulbs.
All right. Okay. Our last one comes from Danielle R. from Westmoreland County, PA. Something in that house wanted to hurt us. Is our subject line. Hi, Jacob and Ryan.
Sup?
Hey, again.
Hey.
Okay, I've gone back and forth about sending this in, mostly because my sister still won't talk about what happened. I realized our story might actually fit right in, except in our case, it felt like the house wanted a murder to happen. What?
What?
Stop sending us your confessions. Again. I grew up in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania, in a town no one's heard of unless you've driven through it. We moved into this house in 1993 when I was 11 and stayed until I was 17. But those 6 years changed every single person in my family. The house was a 2-story colonial from the late 1800s, sitting off a gravel road surrounded by thick woods. From the outside, it looked like a dollhouse. Inside, an effing trap. The first 6 months were small things. Objects disappearing, radios turning on in the middle of the night, lights flickering, even after we replaced the wiring. Interesting. But then it got physical. I remember lying in bed and waking up to what felt like someone sitting on my chest. You're having a heart attack. I couldn't move, couldn't breathe, and when I finally did, my nose started bleeding. I brushed it off as a weird nightmare. Yeah, weird nightmare. You have a medical problem. You have high blood pressure, and you're having a heart attack. Until it started happening to my mom. She said she'd wake up gasping for air and feel hands around her throat. Not sleep paralysis. She was bruised. We all saw it. My dad didn't believe any of it until he got thrown down the stairs. Good Lord. It was late 1995. I was 13. My dad was coming down to grab something from the kitchen, and we heard a loud crash. He said, and I quote, "Something pushed me. I didn't trip." He had a dislocated shoulder and 3 cracked ribs. Still tried to act like it wasn't paranormal, but he refused to go upstairs alone after that. Jeez, man. Oh no, not Grace. My little sister Grace was only 8 when she started talking to the pale girl. Oh my God.
The pale girl.
She'd say the girl lived in the crawl space behind the closet and would sing to her at night. At first, we thought it was imaginary friend stuff, but then Grace started waking up with scratches down her arms like deep ones, the kind you get from dragging nails. We checked her bed, her toys, nothing would have caused that. Except maybe if she was really itchy and scratching herself. One night I found her sleepwalking, standing in front of the back door with her hand on the doorknob, staring out at the woods. She didn't blink, didn't respond to me. She just whispered, she wants me to come with her. I'd have been like, all right, see ya.
Goodbye.
Take her with you. Get out of here. We put a lock on the door after that. You didn't have a lock on the door? What the fuck, dude?
A ghost lock.
A ghost lock. The most violent moment came in 1997. My mom was taking a bath upstairs when she screamed, not like she slipped, like she was being attacked. We ran up and found her in the tub, bleeding from her scalp. She said something grabbed her hair and slammed her head against the tile. She blacked out in the water. She could have drowned. The hospital listed it as a domestic incident. But we all knew the energy in that house by the end was just wrong. It smelled like copper. The air felt heavy. You'd hear whispers in corners and turn around to nothing. My dad stopped sleeping upstairs. Grace started sleeping in my room, and I didn't sleep at all. We moved out in 99 after my mom threatened to leave my dad if we stayed another winter.
Another winter.
Damn. Years later, I did some research. The property had once belonged to a man who lost 3 daughters to illness within months of each other in the early 1900s. After that, he locked his wife in the attic, and she reportedly died from starvation or self-harm. No one knows which. The attic had been sealed when we moved in. We never opened it. Thank God. I don't know what haunted that house, the daughters, the mother, the father, or something older than all of it. But I knew this. It wanted us gone or it wanted us dead. Feel free to share this if you think it fits. Maybe someone else out there has lived through something similar. Thanks for giving us space to share what most people don't believe. Hashtag stay spooky, Danielle.
Damn, violent.
Yeah, Danielle, that's messed up. I kind of wish you didn't share that. Just kidding. You smelled like copper. The air felt heavy. Yeah, I would have been out of there like way earlier.
Well, they bought a ghost lock.
Yeah. And locked the ghost indoors with them.
Damn it.
Good golly. Yeah, keep sending your stories in. Danielle, thanks for being a fan of the show. We like reading your guys' stories. We like that we've cultivated a safe space for you to share. we just like hearing stuff that is spooky.
Send it in.
That's why we do it.
real.hahahaunted@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We can be featured on future episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the story of the Greenbrier Ghost, the only known case in history of U.S. where a ghost testimony has convicted a murderer. And 3 more fan submissions. What an episode.
Way to go, guys. Slow clap. For you, the fans, the Frans. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. We want to do more fun stuff in the future, like, ghost hunting, which we always say we're going to do and we haven't done. We are looking for someone to help us with editing episodes. So if you are an editor, please email us at real.hahahaunted@gmail.com. Send us your portfolio. Your resume.
We'll chat. Send in your ghost stories.
We pay well.
Stay tuned for more episodes. Stay tuned for more ghost hunts. I promise we are going to do ghost hunts. It's just we have so much going on in our lives right now. We would love to do this full time and only do this, but
watch more videos and we can do it full time.
Watch more videos, give us more subscribers, and we'll do that.
Get us
in the future.
10,000.
Get us 10,000. In the future, we will probably have like a membership, a YouTube membership.
Oh.
And we'll give you guys more episodes, like live streams. We'll do bonus episodes. It'll be fun.
That does sound fun.
Yeah. But we appreciate you guys watching and following along.
Hell yeah. Well,
say your stupid line.
All right, Frans.
And
my fellow haunties, stay spooky.
Stay spooky.